I've had the most mouth-watering recipes popping up on my FYP and they're all looking like a snack. So today we're testing the most trending ones that TikTok won't stop feeding me. Starting with this marshmallow that people claim can be turned into a Michelin-starred dessert topping. The humble marshmallow that can be transformed into so many things apparently. But this creator tried it and he failed. So I'm not sure what kind of voodoo magic these TikToks are showing, but let's try it. Okay, so apparently the temperature of your pan matters. You have to have it hot, but not too hot. And once the pan is sufficiently hot enough, all you have to do is press it into the pan and swipe it down, leaving a nice thin film of marshmallows. Is that hot enough? Let me do a quick test. Okay, it's not really sticking yet. Kind of. Let's just do it. Ooh, the marshmallow is looking like the video. It's leaving a good trail, but I feel like I have to act fast. And then they take the strawberry. Oh, it's working! Oh, wait, how come? Wait, it's getting too hot. It's getting too hot. No, it was working. What happened? I knew this was gonna be too good to be true. I feel like we could do better. I'm gonna try it again, but we're gonna turn off the heat real fast. So far, so good. Turn off the heat, and then I'm gonna try to lift it and twirl. I figured out the secret. It works! Except the longer it stays in the pan, the harder it is to lift and twirl. Oh, yes! Yes! I call that a success, even if it's not pretty enough for a Michelin restaurant. It's nice and crunchy. Whoa, that was good. But somebody took this idea to the next level and did a whole art piece with it. Let's try that. Okay, let's get our pan nice and hot again, and then we're just gonna swirl the marshmallow on. Oh, this might be too hot. I'm just gonna do the whole marshmallow. And then he just goes in with his bare fingers to lift it up. Oh dear. Ugh, it's too hot for me. Let me use the skewer. Ah, it was too hot. Ugh, that was a fail. Okay, take two. Let's try this again. We're getting a better melt. Let me go back into the middle. And now, how do you pull? They make it look so easy. Even a child can do this on TikTok. But apparently not I. And the best level of Michelin that I can do is this. 8 out of 10. But keep watching because their most trending recipes only get better from here. Nothing has popped up on my feed this year more than this 2-ingredient viral yogurt cheesecake. Apparently, you just need 2 ingredients and you just soak the cookies inside the yogurt overnight and you get cheesecake. Is this the new version of overnight oats? But say no more, let's try it. At this point, there must be hundreds of TikToks making the same exact thing, except somebody said, everyone's lying, this tastes nothing like cheesecake. That doesn't give me very much confidence. But I found this other comment that says you can't use Greek yogurt because it makes it sour. You have to use vanilla plain yogurt. Oh, oops. I got vanilla Greek yogurt, so hopefully it still works. But this one already tastes like dessert to me, so hopefully it works. Some people stick the cookies right into the yogurt jar. I'm gonna put mine into a container. And now they just take their Biscoff cookies and stick it right into the yogurt. Let me even it out. I feel like the yogurt comes all the way to the top of the cookie, so let me fill my jar a little bit more. Yeah. But I was thinking, cheesecake comes in all sorts of different flavors, so what if we had a little fun with it? I have strawberry yogurt, maple yogurt. I even have some Oreos. You know where this is going. I was thinking with the strawberry yogurt, what if I tried it with real graham crackers to make like a real strawberry cheesecake, if this turns out. Let me stir it up nice and well, get that strawberry really mixed in. And the regular yogurt is looking kind of thin, so I hope this turns out. But I'll add my graham crackers in and we'll see how that one turns out. Of course, now I have maple, and you know what goes well with maple? Some matcha. Maple matcha yogurt for breakfast? Yes, please. Okay, got my yogurt in. Let me whisk up some matcha real quick. Ooh, yum. I was so tempted to make a drink right now, but let's mix this up. Look at that beautiful matcha swirl, matcha cheesecake swirl. But this time I'm gonna add the Sorry, I can't wait. This one is gonna be insane. Okay, so as I'm putting in the cookies, it naturally just rises to the top, so I don't have to worry about completely submerging them. And finally, my favorite ice cream flavor is cookies and cream. So let's see if cookies and cream cheesecake works. I'm very excited for these, but let's close them up, pop them in the fridge, and while we wait for them to set, let's move on to the next snack. As if the chocolate chip cookie isn't already perfect enough, the internet had to go and turn it into fries and then dip them into a fudgy chocolate sauce. Everybody is so creative, except this time, I think in a good way. So I'm gonna start with my famous chocolate chip cookie as the base. And all you're gonna need is some brown butter, brown sugar, mix it all up. Then we're gonna add an egg. Mix it again until it's nice and lava-like. I could do this recipe with my eyes closed. Ah, yeah. Then we just flavor it up with some salt, vanilla extract, and baking soda. Mix it up one more time. And this is where things are a little bit different. I'm gonna add my flour plus some cornstarch just to make it more tender, more crispy, less chewy. They are fries after all. Throw in our chocolate chips and mix everything until it's nice and combined like a cookie dough. This is the part where I realized I probably should have chopped the chocolate chips to make them a little bit smaller, but it'll be okay. And now I'm gonna transfer the cookie dough onto a baking pan that I've already lined with parchment paper and just press it down until it's nice and flat. It might look a little hard here, but the warmth from my hands should help it spread pretty easily. It's nice and flat, so now I'm just gonna stick it in the freezer for about half an hour for it to firm up, and then we're gonna cut them into fries. Okay. It's nice and firm. I'm gonna transfer it onto the cutting board, and then we're gonna cut them into little strips, making them crinkle cut fries. I think I'll cut them into thick steak fries, so I'll just do like 1-inch pieces. And I was afraid the chocolate chips would not cut, but actually it did okay. Now I'm just gonna transfer the cookie fries onto a baking sheet. Somebody said, this is perfect. Sometimes I want a sweet treat, but I don't wanna eat a whole cookie. And honestly, just from cutting these, I do think that they are smaller than your normal chocolate chip cookies, because usually with this recipe, I get maybe 12, 13 if I'm lucky. But here, I'm probably gonna get at least 20 slices. But now we have to bake these off, and I hope they don't lose their shape. So while our cookies are baking, I'm gonna make our fudgy dipping sauce. This time, I have chocolate that I'm gonna chop up. And then we'll transfer it into a small bowl, and I'll just pour some hot cream over it. We're just gonna let it sit for a minute to really saturate and heat up the chocolate, and then we stir. I'm just gonna stir it until it's nice and smooth, and if it's not hot enough, then just nuke it in the microwave for a couple seconds. Oof. So they do spread a little, but I wonder while they're hot if I can cut them again to make them smaller, because they did spread and like expand a little bit. This might actually be the way to go. I'm gonna leave the bottom ones whole so we can compare and contrast, but I'm liking how this turned out. Let's let them finish cooling. Here is our tall and skinny fry, and here's our thick cut fry. They both sound pretty crunchy, honestly, but I'm gonna dip my skinny fries in chocolate sauce. Somebody said these are the only fries that I want served from now on. Let's see if it lives up to that hype. The outside is perfectly tender and crunchy, almost like a shortbread, but inside is that warm, semi-gooey, chewy chocolate chip cookie. And then with the fudge, it just sends me over the top. Now this is innovation that excites. But I wonder if these thicker cut ones are the perfect dunking size for milk, because somehow this just makes more sense to me than a chocolate sauce. If I had to choose one, milk was a good choice. Either way, you can't go wrong with thin cut, thick cut, chocolate sauce, milk. It's all good. And I'm gonna have to give these chocolate chip cookie fries 10 out of 10. Lately, I've been seeing a lot of posts where somebody says, one day a stranger named Sherry will tell you how to be a Chinese baddie. It's very important you listen to her. And my brain immediately said, who's Sherry and what's a Chinese baddie? So I went down the rabbit hole and found another one that says, in your 20s, some random Chinese woman named Sherry will will tell you to drink hot water, boil apples and pears, eat congee for breakfast, wear socks and slippers around the house, go on a hot girl walk, don't sleep with wet hair, and so much more. And it's very important that you listen to that random lady. And my brain still says, okay, but who is Sherry? And then I found Sherry. And her whole theory behind this is because apparently drinking hot water can jumpstart your digestion and make you feel less bloated compared to drinking ice water. And then I found that viral video of her telling people how to boil apples, and now I'm fully locked in, so let's make the Chinese baddie tea. But apparently you start off with some hot water and you have to use red apples. Any red apples will do. Wash it first, mine's already washed, and then we cut it into 8. So her mom just cores the apple. Make sure you take any of the seeds out. Leaves the peel on and everything, and then just plops them into a pot with hot water. And then Sherry says since her mom already has pineapples, she's gonna add some in there too for some extra aroma. Now I've seen other Chinese baddie use things like ginger and red jujubes or dates, and I'm not really sure where that originated from because Sherry's video really only has apples and goji berries. So if you're a Chinese baddie, tell me what this does. But now we boil the apples for 5 minutes, so the water doesn't exactly look like tea, but it looks like hot infused fruit water if you've ever seen like spa water. But now we add in our goji berries and let them sit for 2 minutes. Apparently in Chinese medicine, they say goji berries provide steady, gentle energy boost. So it's kind of like the caffeine boost in your tea. I guess I just need to let it soften up. Okay, now we just ladle our tea into the cup, and I've seen other videos where she adds the goji berries into the tea as well, but not the apples, because she says you can actually just eat the apples because they don't waste any fruit. So I'm curious if the apples are mushy or if they're still semi-hard, because I've never had apples done this way before. Now they're just kind of more bland, hot apples, but I guess you can just repurpose them to make an apple compote or something. But now let's try our baddie tea. There's a nice, gentle, sweet aroma to it that's quite nice. And I'm gonna try to get a sip with the goji berries to see what that tastes like too. So the goji berries taste like a rehydrated berry. They're a little bit slimy. There's like seeds in it, but there's really no flavor. The tea also has no flavor, but it does feel good and comforting just drinking a nice, comforting hot drink on a rather cold day. Does this make me a Chinese baddie now too? I'm gonna give this tea an 8 out of 10. Okay, but TikTok teas aside, this year I'm trying to be more intentional about taking care of myself in a way that I can keep up with. No perfect routines, just like small rituals, like getting my steps in, protecting my sleep, go to bed early, a quick gratitude reset by journaling, and choosing food that makes me feel good. The biggest mind shift set is it's never too early or too late to make longevity a priority because it all starts with your cells. How your cells function affects how strong and energized you feel now and later. That's why I've added MitoPure from Timeline. Timeline is a Swiss cellular longevity brand founded by scientists and doctors, backed by 15+ years of research. MitoPure is their breakthrough supplement, a patented form of urolithin A designed to support cellular energy, muscle strength, and healthy aging. I'm committing to it for 4 months and more because that's what real habits look like. If you want to try MitoPure by Timeline, I'll put a link and code in my description box, and thank you to Timeline for sponsoring this portion of the video. Lately, people have been obsessed with this Korean version of Dubai cookie. I'm just gonna quickly pour in my kadaif into a bowl. But the only thing is, it's not really a cookie. It looks more like a mochi. And everyone in the comments are asking, why is it called a cookie when it clearly looks like a mochi? The discourse had me wondering, so I have to try this recipe. And I've made a variation of Dubai chocolate so many times. We've got this. We're gonna add pistachio cream, tahini, and mix it up. So this version of the Dubai cookie is called Du Jan Ku. As somebody says, this looks so good. When I'm not eating it, I'm thinking about it and it's taking over my life. That must mean it's really good. But let me finish up my filling. Once the filling's done, we're gonna make the mochi. Except it's not mochi, it's made out of marshmallows, which is interesting. We're gonna melt some butter, throw in the marshmallows, let it get nice and melted halfway through, and then we're gonna add cocoa powder. This is giving Rice Krispies Treats vibes, which is actually giving me an idea. What do you think of Rice Krispies Treats Dubai chocolate bar? Eh? Okay, the marshmallows don't look fully melted yet, so I'm gonna add the cocoa powder. And then in the directions, she also says to add milk powder, which she didn't show. And just give it a stir until it's nice and mixed through. Okay, now I have to transfer it onto a parchment paper, or I'm using a Silpat here because somebody in the comments said working with the marshmallow was super sticky and they couldn't make it work. But based on our first marshmallow experiment, I've learned it's all about the temperature. So I'm gonna cool this real quick while we turn the filling into little balls. I'm just gonna try to compress them a little bit so they keep their shape. Okay, the marshmallows should be cool enough to handle, but since they're so sticky, I've made my hands nice and oily. Now just cut them into 4 pieces, and we're gonna try to take one of these pieces of marshmallow and wrap it around the kadaif balls into dumplings, or mochi, as everyone's calling them. So the top is nice and firm the way that I want it, but the bottom is still really hot. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let this side cool down. All right, okay. This is not as sticky as I expected. The skin is conforming quite well, stretchy. Now let's wrap it up. We gotta act fast. Is this actually working? We're doing it. We did it. Oh no, it's starting to stick. I need to put it down. Put it down. We were so close. Okay. Ugh! It is quite sticky. First one was a fail. Let's try this again. We got this. I'm gonna take a small piece, wrap it over. It's the wrapping part that gets you. How did they make it so stretchy later? Okay, I'm done. I'm done. And now I'm gonna work around it. This is not gonna be perfect, you guys. A little better. 3rd time's the charm. Since I have an extra piece right here, I'm gonna borrow a little bit and just wrap it to close it up because we're not gonna risk it. Okay, yay, we got 1 piece. But now she takes her cookie, and dips it into some more cocoa powder. And once she dips it, she's able to mold and form it a little bit better. So I'm hoping this one is gonna be it. Okay, and now she's able to form it. Actually, once you dip it into the cocoa powder, it works so much better. Ta-da! I wonder if I can save this now, since my hands are already cocoa-y. After all that work, we have to have at least 2 successful pieces. And here are the chewy Dubai cookies. Now, the part that goes super viral in everybody's video is that like crazy stretch that they do. So I want to try and see if I can achieve the same stretchiness. Whoa! Yes! Did you ever think that your marshmallows could do that? This one was definitely worth the hype, and it tastes like mochi to me. Except somebody had to say cookies are also a small sweet cake that's typically round, flat, and have a crispy or chewy texture, which checks all the boxes. And I don't care what you call them, cookie, mochi, whatever. This one is just good, and it deserves a 9 out of 10. So apparently there's this viral cream sandwich going around that you can only get in Japan, and apparently it's only 60 cents. It's this cone-shaped fried piece of milk bread that's stuffed with cream that's not too sweet. He says it's kind of like butter. The way I want to go to Japan and get one, except the lines are like an hour long, so I'm gonna try to make this myself. First, they fry their bread. I have some thick milk bread right here, and we're just gonna crisp it up until it's nice and golden brown. The amount of oil they use is in a whole deep fryer, so I'm not exactly sure how much I need, but I feel like that should be good. Okay, gotta make sure that the oil is hot enough, otherwise it's gonna just be oil-soaked bread instead of nice and fried. Oh yeah. Ooh, but it's just like the perfect crispy brown. I'm gonna transfer it onto my wired rack and let it cool. Should we do another one? Yes. Okay, so while we let the bread cool down, I'm gonna make the cream filling. So he says it's not too sweet and is more like butter. So I'm just gonna do cream and a tiny little bit of sugar. Somebody says, as an Asian, not too sweet is like music to my ears. The one in the video almost looks like cream cheese or just like overly whipped cream. So I think I have to go a little bit longer. Now that looks more like butter. Okay, let's stuff our cream sandwich. So they take the fried bread, cut it diagonally, and then put a slice through the middle, and then we just like expand it and then stuff it with the cream. Is it even a video if you don't do crunchy ASMR? The insides are still really fluffy, but I wonder if I can open it up enough to put the cream in. Okay, here it goes. So the pocket's actually pretty small, and I'm actually kind of scared to rip this. Oh no, I did rip the outside. It's a lot more delicate than it looks in the video. I gotta somehow get that perfect cone shape. And that is our cream sandwich. It reminds me of your traditional Japanese fruit sando and a Twinkie had a baby. It would look like this. How do you even eat this? That's so interesting how this went mega viral, because honestly, it just tastes like a piece of toast with like sweet cream butter. Maybe it went viral just for this shape, because it's good, but I'm not sure I'd wait an hour long for it. Maybe it's the 60 cents. But somebody said, how long before someone brings this to New York charging $10 with extra sugar, chocolate dipped, or a viral Dubai version? Well, I don't know. But they also have a version where they fill it with custard and have a creme brulee topping. And that probably just goes for $1. So since I have all this extra, let's try that version. Okay, so let's cut this up and fill it again. I'm gonna try to make a deeper slit this time. The bread just feels so soft and pillowy though. Let's not break this time. Success! Let's start with our cream. Okay, my second one is looking better than the first. I'm gonna leave some room for the custard though. Yeah. My mouth is already watering. Sprinkle some sugar. And I 100% think this will be better than that grilled cheese creme brulee situation we tried earlier. Now that is beautiful. Let's see if it'll give us that epic crack. Oh yeah. This version is elite and it might justify that long line. The viral cream gets 7 out of 10. Creme brulee version gets 9 out of 10. It's the next day and I think our yogurt cheesecakes should be set. Ooh. Honestly, they don't look any different than the last time I saw them, but hopefully the texture and the taste is good. We'll go for the original and people literally just take their spoon and swipe right through the middle and the cookies should be nice and soft. Ooh. This passes the texture test and it does look like the texture of a cheesecake. But is it gonna taste sour from the Greek yogurt like somebody said? There's a little tang in there. There's a little tang. But we did do a strawberry one with regular yogurt and graham crackers, so maybe this will taste a little better. I can confirm that the strawberry yogurt with the graham cracker does very much taste like a cheesecake. The texture is a little bit more runny, but the taste is good. Let's go for the maple matcha. I feel like this should be the winning combo. The taste is so good, but the texture is more like pudding instead of cheesecake. I do think you need to use Greek yogurt, but the sourness is what throws me off. Last one. Cookies and cream. I don't like the sour tang. So I will say, out of all of these experiments, the one that tastes the most like cheesecake is gonna be the strawberry with graham cracker. While I do like the texture and the thickness of the Greek yogurt, I'm gonna have to agree, the sourness is just something you can't ignore. So definitely use regular yogurt, and if you can make it a little bit more thick, do that. And try with the matcha or strawberry, because those were the best flavors. Overall, I'm not really sure why these went mega viral. They're just okay. I guess they make boring yogurt a little bit more fun, but I'm gonna give them a 7 out of 10. This next one might be my favorite because it's the Din Tai Fung chocolate dumpling dupe. And all you need for this are 2 ingredients: wonton wrappers and some chocolate truffles. So this recipe actually looks really easy. All you have to do is take your wonton skin and then open up your chocolate truffles. Somebody said, I made these, but the wrapper made it way too chewy, so I cooked it a bit longer, but it made it even harder, and I was not a fan. But somebody else chimed in and said you have to use the wonton skin with the sweet rice flour, which is exactly what I got. And now she takes a truffle and just places it in the middle, except I got a few different flavors to play with. We have sea salt truffle, caramel truffle, and I just saw that Din Tai Fung launched a new flavor, which is their strawberry mochi. So I got some strawberry truffles. And since that sounds exquisite, I'm gonna start with that. But you take your wonton wrapper, place the truffle in the middle, wet the edge of the wrapper, and then you make little folds, making sure that it's nice and tight so that it doesn't leak. I like to watch Din Tai Fung make their little wrappers, and they have it down. Let's see if I can get this right. It's a little bit more challenging at the end, but the creator says give it a nice squeeze so that nothing leaks out. And I'd say that looks pretty good. But let's make a few more, because if this works out, I can't eat just one. So cute. Now we'll do a chocolate one. I'm just giving it little pleats, squeezing it at the top. It's the last little pleat that's a little bit more challenging, but for the most part, that's pretty fun. Okay, now all I have to do is put it into a steamer basket like so, but we have to line it because she says it sticks. Place our little chocolate mochi dumplings right on top. Oh, this one has a hard time standing up. I'm just gonna lean it against here. Once the chocolate melts though, I feel like it should just stand up on its own. We'll see. But somebody said I'm making these, but fried. I feel like that would taste really good too, kind of like a chocolate ravioli. But now let's steam this and we'll make our salted cream. And now to make the sea salt cream, she uses some heavy cream, sugar, and salt. Except somebody said, I work at Din Tai Fung, and for the sea salt cream, you need heavy whipped cream, caramel sauce, vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And whisk away. Now I should also mention that their sea salt cream is like this light foamy texture, so I'm not gonna whip it too much. Perfection. Okay, now she transfers the cream into a little dipping bowl. She adds a tiny little dust of matcha, and I think our dumplings should be done. Okay, our chocolate truffles look nice and melted in there, but the dumplings are leaning a little bit. Hopefully it's all sealed so they don't leak. Okay, but let's try the classic chocolate one that they have. Oh my goodness, this looks almost identical to the Din Tai Fung ones. I must dip, but it appears that I might have over whipped my salted cream a little tiny bit, but that's okay. Somebody said they just ate this straight with vanilla ice cream. Cheers. The fact that I can now make this at home is blowing my mind because this tastes exactly like that. And I do have to say the sweet rice flour wrapper tip was perfect because it's nice and chewy. And since my local Din Tai Fung at Downtown Disney doesn't have the strawberry one yet, we need to try this. This snack gets 10 out of 10. But if you like this video, go watch me test more trending TikTok recipes. Bye!